Outten here from the American Digital Network studio. Hope everyone is having a great start to their week. Thanks for tuning into The Rise. As we approach the halfway point of conference play on the hardwood, let's get you caught up on the tight race in the league standings. Entering last week at 3-2, Memphis picked up two crucial wins to vault into a tie for third. The Tigers outlasted Houston in overtime to start the week, then held off UCF down the stretch to move to 5-2 and 15-5 overall. Starring for the Tigers was the player of the week, KJ Lawson, who posted a career-high 28 points and 16 rebounds at Houston. Also, with two home wins last week, SMU extended its winning streak to 17 games at Moody Coliseum. It was Shake Milton who led the way, scoring a career-high 27 points as the Mustangs stayed within a half game of conference-leading Cincinnati. Speaking of the Bearcats, they moved up one spot to number 19 in both national polls after taking games against Temple and at Tulane to extend their winning streak to 10, matching the longest winning streak in the American this year. On Thursday, Cincinnati welcomes Xavier to Fifth Third Arena for the Skyline Chili Crosstown Shootout. Should the Bearcats grab the win, they will set a record for consecutive home wins under Mick Cronin with their 20th in a row. On Thursday night and throughout the week, coaching staffs throughout the American will be taking part in Coaches vs. Cancer Suits and Sneakers Week. The program is a nationwide collaboration between the American Cancer Society and the National Association of Basketball Coaches. The initiative leverages the personal experiences, community leadership, and professional excellence of coaches nationwide to increase cancer awareness and promote healthy living through year-round awareness efforts, fundraising activities, and advocacy programs. So be on the lookout for your favorite coaches sporting some different footwear this weekend as they raise awareness in the fight against cancer. And over to the women's side, the historic streak continues as UConn won its 93rd straight game. Reigning American Player of the Week, Katie Lou Samuelson, finished with a game-high 32 points in the win over the Green Wave, which is becoming a regular thing for Katie Lou. Samuelson averaged 33 points over 2 games for the Huskies last week and was named ESPNW's Player of the Week on Monday for her efforts. UConn isn't the only team garnering some national attention, as Temple, who is arguably one of the hottest teams in the country right now, grabbed its 11th win in a row this past week. Junior guard Denasia Fountain led the Owls with 21 points per game as Temple downed Houston on the road on Wednesday and Memphis last Saturday. The week ahead sees the Owls facing off with Penn in midweek action for the Philadelphia Big Five title and hosting number 23 USF on Sunday in a critical conference matchup for both teams on CBS Sports Network. The Owls are 3 spots out of the AP Top 25 and continue to receive votes in both major polls. A team that is garnering a whole lot of attention in the preseason national polls out on the diamond are the East Carolina Pirates. This week, the Purple and Gold were ranked the 6th best team in the country by Baseball America. College baseball opening weekend is less than a month away, and to get the season started, the Pirates will hit the road for a 3-game series at Ole Miss. The start of softball is also just a few weeks away, and this past week, the American announced the preseason coaches poll. Tulsa was selected as the favorite in 2017 after winning its first conference championship last season, claiming the title on its home field and appearing in its 8th NCAA regional. The Hurricane returned 12 starters from last year's squad. Picked to win it all in the preseason poll and sitting at 7-0 in conference play. Coming up next, we dive deeper into a Cincinnati team that has their eyes set on a conference championship and beyond. We get to know one of the key players and leaders on Mick Cronin's squad. Stay with us.
We are American. We operate from a place of power, a place where what goes up doesn't necessarily come down, where the laws of physics are thrown out the window and high off the glass. It's power that moves us forward by leaps and bounds, the kind of power that brings the house down so the house can rise up. That's power. We are power.
During his freshman season, coaches, teammates, and fans were excited by the young and very talented Gary Clark. Cincinnati has watched the North Carolina product grow up right before its very eyes, and Clark not only feels his personal growth, but he now better understands his role as a veteran on this year's team.
Knowing what the expectations are as your head coach. As a freshman, I had no idea. I was just taking it day by day, asking guys, asking coaches every day. But as a junior, knowing what it's going to take to win those big games, and what'll jeopardize our season. And, talking to the younger guys and getting them prepared as much as I can.
Gary's another humble star, and trying to get him to break out into a dominant mentality. It's nice to have such good people, but at times I need a guy like Gary to transform a little bit into a dominant force on both ends of the floor. He's such a team player that he defers a little bit. He's got to take some more chances, and our coaches have great respect for him because they all know that he's completely unselfish. So I need him to have take a bad shot every now and then and be a little more aggressive and come out of his shell to where he can be a dominant player in college basketball.
There is no question Clark was a dominant force on the court last season, earning the conference's Defensive Player of the Year accolades. But coming out of his shell and being able to dominate in all areas of the game is something Clark challenged himself to do this year. And as Wayne Gretzky says, you miss 100% of the shots you don't take. Well, lucky for Clark, he's making over 60% of those shots he is taking.
I'm able to, now that I'm able to knock down those jump shots, guys have to guard me, come up and actually guard me. And I'm able to put the ball on the ground, really crafty when it comes to handling the ball. So, see more of me driving to the basket, being more versatile rather than just freshman year trying to drive or get to my spots by like hook shots. Now guys got to respect my jump shot.
Another guy that can knock down a few shots is Clark's teammate, leader, and friend, Troy Copane. Two veterans that in large part make up the foundation of this year's team.
It's been great, both kind of been from down south and underdogs, throughout high school. Coming in as a freshman, Troy as a sophomore, I had watched him play a couple times on AAU, but I never thought that we'd be on the same team playing together because he was a bigger guard. Watching him play, so playing with him now, it's really fun because he's very vocal. He's passionate. I tell him all the time, the funniest times when I know when Troy's intense he has a big old vein pop out the side of his neck. So I'm like, here you go. He's intense right now. He's ready. He's locked in.
6'8", athletic, good back to the basket game, and great touch around the rim. He's figuring out how to shoot the ball, which is something that we kind of need because it not just for our team but for himself. His back to the basket game was something that when he came in was dominant, and being a third year now, teams are going to start to go double him or help him to try to avoid that. So being able to step out, bang that shot, puts him more in an isolation one-on-one situation. And I think the summer that we had definitely is grew. He's stepping out, he's pumping, he's doing everything that a 6'8" guard should do. What I'm saying? He still plays big, but he's a guard, at mind. If you ask him to this day, he still thinks he can shoot better than me. But it's all about confidence, and I feel like I like that. We like that, not just for his college career, but for his professional career too.
UC is one of 8 schools in the nation to play in 6 consecutive NCAA tournaments. But this year, the goal isn't just to make the tournament, it's much higher.
Be disciplined, stay disciplined and together. Last year we had a lot of minor malfunctions during games that cost us games by 1 point or 2 points here, buzzer beaters. I think the best thing is that we have so many guys that went through that last year still on this team, so we know what it's going to take to get there.
In order to clean up the mistakes from last season and achieve the potential this year's team has, it takes full focus in the gym. And when Coach Cronin doesn't feel like practice is at the level it needs to be at, he looks to Clark to help turn things around.
The funniest is, if guys are out to lunch during practice or we're having a slow practice, he'll yell at me and he'll say, if guys don't want to talk, if guys don't want to play basketball, what should they do? And as a freshman, I'm like, what? I have no idea what you're talking about. But he knows I love fishing, so he's like, tell them to go fishing. So now a lot of our slogans are, if you can't do it, you don't want to do it, just go fishing. Ask Gary how to go fishing, and he'll take you fishing.
And although the subject of fishing might be a lighthearted way to take practice up a notch, fishing is in no way a joke to Gary Clark.
Probably fishing. Being able to like be some kind of fishing guide somewhere, or just have my own fishing situation where I'm just fishing all day.
Gary Clark may be looking forward to a fishing situation one day, but there isn't any time to sit back and live that dream just yet, as the Bearcats will step out of conference play for the Skyline Chili Crosstown Shootout on Thursday at home against Xavier. That one's always a packed house at Fifth Third Arena, but if you can't make it to the game, you'll definitely want to tune in at 7 p.m. Eastern on ESPN2. That's all we have for you on this week's episode of The Rise. As always, thanks for tuning in. I'm Haley Outen.